Time now to go around the country to get the latest recruiting intel. You will hear from national recruiting analysts Anna Adams, Tom Loy, and our own Blair Angulo. Here's Anna to start off the recruiting roundup.
Thanks, Emily. Five-star offensive tackle David Sanders, who is the number 3 overall in the top 247 for the 2025 class, set to announce his decision on Saturday at his school in Charlotte, North Carolina. And 24/7 Sports will be on hand to interview him pre- and post-announcement, as well as broadcast live his decision. Regarding the decision, I think despite all that's led up to him reaching this point in the process, and that's been a lot, he's taken 7 official visits, which is a lot in the modern recruiting era, especially in that time frame, which is really April, May, June. I think you really have to look at where he elected to visit when the July recruiting period lifted at the end of the month, and that was Lincoln, Nebraska, and Knoxville, Tennessee. And then not only that, look at where he's visited the most overall in that time span. And since March, he's visited Tennessee 5 times, and no other contender has received a visit more than 3 times. And I think that's just telling. Tennessee has been super consistent throughout the process with him and Josh Heupel and kind of the message that they've been communicating to him and his family. And I think he just feels the most comfortable on there. He loves the pieces that they're bringing in around him. He sees an opportunity to compete for a national championship. I think he likes the plan that they have academically. He can go on and on. I think Tennessee just checks all the boxes. And bottom line, his relationships and the atmosphere, he just feels most comfortable there. Over the weekend, I entered a 24/7 Sports crystal ball forecasting him there. So that's where I feel most comfortable predicting him less than a week out from his decision. And then 4-star wide receiver Snook Peterkin, also a North Carolina native, will come off the board on Friday. He'll announce his decision among finalists NC State, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech. And haven't entered a crystal ball there, but I'm close to entering one for NC State. I think the Wolfpack, they've done a really good job of prioritizing him from start to finish and really selling him on staying in state and being one of the marquee offensive playmakers for them. And speaking of Dave Doran's program, they're doing a really good job with 4-star safety Jordan Young, another in-state prospect. I think they may have even overtaken Clemson there with the most momentum right now. So kudos to the Wolfpack, especially if they can close with Peterkin later this week. For more intel, let's hear from Tom Loy.
Thanks, Anna. This week, there are 3 big-time prospects that I want to talk about. First up, we got Carrollton, Georgia, top 100 quarterback Julian Lewis. So why are we talking about Juju, who's been locked in with USC for such a long time? Because I've said it for months, and I still want to repeat myself. I do not expect him sticking with his pledge to the Trojans. The teams to watch: Indiana, Colorado, and to a lesser extent, Auburn. I say lesser extent because it looked like Auburn was about to get it done. And then around the start of July, it seemed like they both kind of parted ways, and Auburn started focusing its attention more on Deuce Knight. So now I'm watching Indiana and Colorado. If I had to pick between the two, I would give the edge to Indiana. I think that staff is doing a phenomenal job. We all know about the relationship with Tino Sinceri, but I think Coach Cignetti is doing a phenomenal job trying to recruit him, treat him like a priority. Like I said, right now, I give the edge to Indiana over Colorado and the field. Now I want to talk about Miami, Florida, Columbus, top 247 safety Bryce Fitzgerald. You got Miami, Florida, USC, Florida State, and LSU all involved. However, I see this as a 2-team race. I am watching Florida State and LSU. His decision is coming quickly. August 17th, he will pick a school. And I give the Seminoles the edge right now. I do not have a 24/7 Sports crystal ball, but if I had one in, it would be on Florida State, just 5 or so days out from his decision. The last one I want to talk about, Columbia, South Carolina, Heathwood Hall, Episcopal, 3-star cornerback, Onis Konanbani. Now, this one is a clear-cut 2-team race. You got Tennessee on one side, Florida State on the other. His commitment's coming quickly. You got August 23rd as the decision date. My 24/7 Sports crystal ball remains on the Volunteers. They have been extremely hot on the trail as of late. I feel like they could be getting more good news on the way. And I think Konanbani could be the icing on the cake to wrap things up in the 2025 class to end August. I like Tennessee to get that done. Now let's head west to hear from Blair Angulo.
Thank you, Tom. The high school football season in the state of Utah kicks off this week, and that means that top 24/7 quarterback Helaman Casuga will take the field with a clear focus on his recruitment. The 4-star prospect from Corner Canyon is down to 8 schools. It's Arizona, it's Arizona, Auburn, BYU, Nebraska, Texas A&M, USC, Utah, and Washington. Up next for Casuga are the unofficial visits and going out to games this season. He wants to get out to Texas A&M for the game against Notre Dame at the end of this month. He also plans to get out to Nebraska for the game against Colorado next month, Washington against Michigan in October, Utah against BYU later this fall as well. And when we think about the quarterback dominoes, especially in the 2026 class, Helaman Casuga will be an important one. Staying in the 2026 class, Brandon Arrington from the state of California down in San Diego is also beginning to map out some of his game visits for this fall. The 4-star from Mount Miguel High School wants to get out to A&M to check out that big game against Notre Dame. He made it out to a number of unofficial visits when the contact period opened at the end of July. He checked out Nebraska, he checked out Oklahoma, he checked out Alabama, but it was the Aggies that made the biggest impression. He told me that when he made it down to College Station, his eyes opened wide. He was really excited to continue to build a relationship with that staff. And when you think about what A&M has been able to do in the Golden State, landing 5-star quarterback Husan Longstreet in this 2025 class, getting one of the best corners in the country in Adonis Curry, getting a big-time linebacker in Noah McHale, we could obviously mark down now Brandon Arrington as one of the top targets for A&M in the 2026 cycle. His nickname might be Dash, but he's not in a hurry. He's going to take his time. But right now, the Aggies are making a tremendous impression.
Is a fantastic nickname. Thank you to our whole team. Be sure to check out the 24/7 Sports Football Recruiting Podcast with Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Recruiting Analyst Cooper Patagna. Keep it locked into the pod for Wednesday's 2027 rankings release. Yep, we're talking about the young guys right here on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel.